examples. The core value for me is to be very aware of my language. I've got my master's now in neurolinguistics, and so I listen to language because I feel that the language, my word is my wand in my life. My words create my life, and I have a very good, balanced life because I continue to listen to what's coming out of my mouth. Well, I want to share one last story with you because all of this works together. I do a summer retreat which is called Conditions of Deliverance. We do that over in Utah. And last summer there was a woman by the name of Jean Greendyke, and she works for Touchstone Pictures. And we do a full-day ropes course in the training on one of the days. And in doing the ropes course, she didn't really know what was going to be going on on this particular day. But one of the events that is challenging to who you are, because we basically have outlined our values. We're beginning to test our commitment. We're looking at our power. We're looking at our alignment in this training. And this particular exercise is it's a pine tree, but it's about the size, in circumference, is about the size of a telephone pole. Now the height is 70 feet. You're in the middle of beautiful pine trees. You put on a harness that comes up between your legs and over your shoulders. There's a carabiner in the front and a carabiner in the back. There's a couple hooks that come down from a couple other trees. And your job is to climb up. Now, this pole has completely had all of the limbs removed. And there is a small 6-foot rope fence at the bottom. And then once you get onto the pole, then you climb all the way to the top. And when you get up to the top of the pole, the top of the tree has been chopped off so it's flat. And there on top of the tree is a lazy Susan that spins around that has a single lug nut. And there's about this much play, and it spins. And your job is just to stand up on top of the lazy Susan. So, Jean gets up to the tree. Now, the one thing we do in the training is that you always have choice. See, I believe that if I say no to someone, that I should have celebration, because it takes courage to say no. And we celebrate, and we call it the creative yes and the creative no. And if someone says, no, I don't choose to do that activity, we celebrate that person because they had the courage in the middle of all this excitement and energy to say no. But she said yes. As a matter of fact, she wanted to go first. Yeah, first. So she wanted to go first. She walks up, she's got her hiking boots on. She gets up to this pole, takes a deep breath, puts her foot on the first ladder step, and it's a rope ladder, it's just 6 feet up, it's just right about here. And she gets up about 3 or 4 steps, and she says, Jane, I didn't tell you something, I'm afraid of heights. And I said, that's okay. I said, you can say no right now if you want to. She goes, no, I don't want to say no. I want to say yes to one more step. I said, say yes to one more step in your life. She took one more step and she said, yes. It was quivering, yes. And she got on past the rope ladder. And then she began, and each one of the little, there's almost like little nails that come out of the pole, and they barely are out there. I mean, you keep thinking, I know it's got to be bigger than that. And so she's getting up there, and her leg is really quivering. And she's looking at me because I'm the leader of this thing. She's got her hard hat on, and she's yelling at me. She goes, I can't do this. You're the negative. I can't do this. And I said, right, you tell your body that you can't do it, and you can't do it. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you're always right. So what are you? Can you or can't you? She goes, I can do another step. Do one more step. It was shaking. I mean, it's pounding again. You could feel the whole, and we were all scared for her. And she said, she goes, how do I get my leg to stop shaking? Give it a positive command. You cannot communicate to your body in a negative way and expect to give a positive result. You cannot talk negatively about someone and expect to give a positive result. What you sow, you reap. I said, give your body a positive command. She goes, stop shaking. I said, listen to the command. It says shaking. You're telling it to still shake. It does not hear do or don't. Tell it what you do want. She goes, I want support. I want strength. Telling it stop. There was no more shaking. She took one step at a time and scaled that tree as if she had been doing it all her life. No more shaking. Now the wind was blowing. And the wind's blowing as she's on this big pole. And she gets up to the top and she says, okay, how do I get on top of this lazy Susan? I said, so far you've done really well. And you're an inner-directed person. Why don't you communicate with the tree? I said, that's what I would do. She goes, okay, tree, how do I do this? No one talked. We were all silent. Somehow she got an inner voice, just like Joan of Arc. And all of a sudden, she figured out how to stand up on that lazy Susan. She got up and got herself up on that lazy Susan, and now she's doing this. And she goes, I can't get my legs to stop shaking. And she goes, I can't believe this. And I said, what do you want? Here's the key question you ask yourself in your life. What do you want? That's all you got to answer. That's the easiest question. You just answer that question, you got it made. What do you want? She said, legs. I need stability and strength. Hold me up now. Just like that. But the tree was still moving. This was the greatest part of the story. She goes, Jane, this so far is really great. How do I get the tree to stop moving? I said, so far you've done a very good job at communicating with the tree. Why don't you give it a try and talk to the tree? She said, tree, be still. It stopped like that. I don't know how it happened. I'm not going to try to figure it out. I'm just telling you, we had 15 women there and watched that tree stop. She raised her hands. She was above the tree line. It was a beautiful Utah summer day, and she started singing Amazing Grace. We started crying. We started singing with her. And you know what was amazing? It's that when people begin to really commit to their core self, there's a power inside that can help you fly. At that moment, she jumped off. There's a trapeze about 10 feet up. And she flew off like an eagle, and it was the most exciting thing that she ever had. And I'm telling you, this is a person who has made great changes in her life because she knows that all she has to do is make a commitment. What do you have to do? What do you have to do to make that change in your life? You might not have to climb up that pamper pole. By the way, it's called a pamper pole because by the time you get to the top, you might need a pair of pampers. What do you need for those moments of truth? That's all I'm going to ask that you ask yourself. It's been a wonderful audience, and thank you for being here.